Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Welcome, everyone, to this edition of Litter Media Special Edition for Fairfield County. Our guest today is John Parker. He is the superintendent of the Byrne Union Local Schools over in Sugar Grove in Fairfield County. John, welcome. Good to have you with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
I know you folks are really excited right now because you just opened a new $65 million campus and the kids are in the building.
That's correct. It was a long time coming, and it's been a fun journey, stressful journey, but fun. And I grew up in this community, went to school here, and came back to work here, live in the community, and so I know how much this means to everybody.
The old campus site buildings, how long had they been there?
So the original part of the building was built in 1915, and then I believe there were 6 or 7 additions throughout the years. And so it was kind of a hodgepodge building, kind of a beautiful old front facade facing Main Street in Sugar Grove. And then the rest of it, I would say, is not the most attractive building in the world.
Now, I was over there for regional volleyball, I think during COVID, because
Yes.
Logan didn't want to host that year, and you guys were great to step up. And so I'm a little bit familiar with the older building
Sure.
structure, but from the pictures that we received, looks like a brand new gym and everything.
Yeah, it's everything is new. Pre-K to seniors, 2 new gyms. We're also constructing a field house, which will be completed in the spring, late spring, early summer, and that'll have 2 more gyms, our weight room, locker rooms, some things like that in it. So a big upgrade. And, we had a really nice gym in the old facility. This one's even nicer. So we're very proud of that.
Well, one thing I was asked, because I'm on the OHSA media committee, I was asked by some of the OHSA members, how did you find it at Byrne Union? And I said, well, one thing I can tell you, the hospitality was tremendous, and I'm sincere about that. They threw out the red carpet and just made us feel like we were at home.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. We really try to enhance the game day experience. We want to be great hosts. We take a lot of pride in that. We try to replicate some of the stuff you might see at a bigger college, and with the music, and we enjoy that. And our boosters have done a phenomenal job of supporting our athletic director, and he's a young guy and he likes all that stuff, and it's a cool experience for our kids. So I appreciate you saying that, because that means a lot.
So what happens to the old campus site?
So it will be demolished, and that process will start probably April-ish, and that'll become the site of our varsity baseball field. Our baseball program has been without a diamond. It'll be 4 years by the time this is all done, and they're still winning league championships and being, we won a district last year, made a nice little run, and it's amazing that Coach Cup's been able to do that without having somewhere to practice or even play home games. So so they definitely deserve it. So once, we're excited to get them back in a new facility.
What's your enrollment, and how has this new campus enabled you to do things academically that maybe were challenges under the old buildings? So
the new school, just from a physical standpoint, the rooms are a little bit bigger. The layouts are much more efficient, a lot more storage in the classrooms, a lot more windows, it's brighter. And then some real basic things like the HVAC system. I told the staff the first day they came into the new building, I said, you're going to love it because you can walk from one end to the other and the temperature is essentially the same. Where in the old building, you could experience most climates if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You could go from a jungle feeling to the Arctic. It was pretty crazy in the old building. And then the other thing, and we laugh about this, when it would rain or it would snow and then the snow would melt, we'd have, and I'm not exaggerating, 80 to 100 buckets throughout the building catching drips. So just the basics we're thrilled with, but technology has been improved. We've really got into the STEM learning, and so now we have a dedicated space for our elementary school STEM learners, and then we have a really nice facility for our high school STEM program. Our auditorium is beautiful. Again, that was another thing that a lot of schools our size aren't fortunate enough to have, and we have a auditorium that seats over 450 people. It's beautiful. And our old auditorium, literally last spring, our choir brought down the house as part of the ceiling was falling during the performance. So, everything's just about better than the old school, and cafeteria is modernized, and so it's just a great modern space for our kids. And so, I always feel if you create a good environment, good things are going to happen, and I think we've done that.
You alluded to this, but since COVID, many schools have learned what more things they can do with technology,
right.
Remote classrooms. Now, I know you want all the students, in the building because that's the optimal learning situation. But what are some of the other technology things that you learned from COVID that you still want to carry over with students back in the building?
Well, that's a good question. We've always had a really good technology person, and we've really, I'm not going to say we're at the cutting edge, but we do have a lot of technology here for where we're located and kind of our situation, you might say. But I think that probably the biggest thing we learned with COVID is that students can do some things on their computers that appear that they're paying attention, and they may be playing a video game in the background or something like that. So it's, I would say, I think the biggest takeaway from the COVID years is that in person-to-person learning is still the most effective. I think at the end of the day, technology is great. It's a useful tool. I know I wish I had some of these tools when I was teaching. It would have made it a little bit more fun and easier, more exciting maybe. But I still think it just proves that a teacher and a room full of students is the best way to get something done.
For some of our viewers that may not be familiar, of course, Sugar Grove, Burn Union, that's still considered kind of a rural area. It's a small village there. But what do you have as far as your current enrollment, and do you see growth down the road?
So we have about 850 students, and our student enrollment is kind of like a roller coaster. When I graduated, we had mid-90s in a graduating class. We're 56 to 60 right now, and our kindergarten classes is a big class right now. I'm not sure if that's growth or just the typical kind of spike we see in our enrollment. And a lot of people, I think, with the Hocking Hills vacation stuff growing and with Intel and Google, they've told us that the Intel people will stay about 45 minutes from their work, and we drop in that zone. Right. And it's a bedroom community. There are farms here, but it's not a farming school, if that makes sense. It's more of a bedroom community, and we anticipate there'll be some growth, but not a lot, because a lot of our low places are floodplain, and then we have hills, and so and then our other flat place is nice farmland. So, and some of those farmers are not ready to sell that yet. And to be honest, I'm happy with the size we are. Our students still respect teachers for the most part, and so do our parents. So it's still really a community effort to educate students, and I'd like to see it stay that way.
When you and I were visiting on the phone the other day, setting up this interview, I was talking about some of the other superintendents that we have recently talked to, some that are in new buildings and some just talking about general education. Of course, Lancaster, just up the road from you, and building their new campus. Logan Elm and Pickaway County just got into their new buildings. But vocational education, from a statewide perspective, has become the catchword. Everybody's talking about that. Now, for many years, schools when they had students involved in that, they just send them to maybe a career tech center nearby. What's the scenario there for Bern Union schools?
So I would say, historically schools, and we weren't, I would say this was a flaw of most high schools. And no matter where you were located, got to go to college, got to go to college, got to go to college. And really didn't give our due to the skilled trades and some of those things. And I obviously I went to college and took that route, but our community, we have a lot of people that have built very good businesses through skilled trades. And I've always had a big respect for those people. And I personally like to build things. And, I have a small farm I live on. So I really enjoy that anyways. But I was as a superintendent, you're part of business advisory councils in each county. And when I took over as superintendent and sat and listened to all the discussion about Intel coming and Google, I came back and told the high school principal that, hey, we've really got to change our approach because, college is great and it certainly serves a certain segment of the population well, but we've got to do a better job of getting our kids excited about technology, using their hands to create things. And so our school board in lockstep with that thinking. And so we've really done a lot to prepare our graduates for the changing workforce in Central Ohio. And so we're pretty passionate about that. And fortunately, again, our board has been very, very supportive. And like I tell the director of economic development in Fairfield County, I say, hey, Bern Union, we'll send kids anywhere that you will let us. We want to expose our kids as much as we can to show them that there's a lot to do out there. And then the other part of that is the fact that college has gotten so expensive. It's really hard to look at a kid or parents and say, go to school, acquire a debt of a couple $100,000 and then go teach or do something else where it may take you years to pay that back. And, that's a tough thing, and so I really think these skilled trades, there's so much work out there that schools are foolish if they don't put a lot of attention towards that.
My wife was talking to a guidance counselor in the school where she works, and her son got involved in some kind of electrical work training. And he's only been out of school like 4 or 5 years. And she said he's already making 3 times what I'm making as a guidance counselor. And he travels all over the country. And that goes right to your point, John.
Yeah. And we hear that all the time. And we have the Fairfield County Workforce Development Center, which allows, we have students that typically go to the Career Center their junior and senior years. And that's a great program. And there's 2 campuses they can go to. But Fairfield County has started this Workforce Development Center. I think we're in year 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. And for seniors who maybe wasn't sure what they wanted to do, it's another opportunity for them to learn a trade. And so they have electrical. Claypool Electric has a lab there they've created. There's HVAC. There's all sorts of stuff. And we're sending more and more seniors there that aren't sure what they want to do. And that's been a great thing. So I really think, we like to make fun of the government and criticize the government all the time. But I'll say at least in the state of Ohio and at the local level, I really think the energy and the focus on those things are they're doing a good job with that. And they're putting their money where their mouth is, which, as we all know, doesn't happen very often. So I think that's a good thing for our students.
John, we appreciate your taking the time to be with us and giving us an update on Bern Union. We're tickled for you that you're in your new digs now. And I know from staff all the way down to the students, they're excited about what's happening there.
Very much so. Very much so.
Again, our guest on the Fairfield County Special Edition of Litter Media is John Parker, Superintendent of Bern Union Schools in Fairfield County. He's been our guest today.
Thank you so much.